So, one of my favorite stories, true story. There was a group of prisoners in the federal penitentiary in Atlanta. This is like a medium security prison, so there's going to be like a good mix of people in there, right? And for several years, these inmates, a group of them, were escaping the prison, then taking contraband from nearby, and then sneaking back into prison. Okay. And I'm like, you know what? If you can do that shit for years on end and not get caught, you could probably hop trains for a good while and not get caught. All right, Josh, what's the plan?
Shit, man. I guess we're going to Michigan.
There's not a lot of information about Michigan. No one really rides there. We kind of don't really know what we're doing, and I think neither do most people who first go there, so.
Definitely feels like we're going into the blind a bit, but I guess that's all part of the adventure.
So yeah, the deal is we're in upstate New York. There's like a heat wave all across the country, so I just want to be in the upper part of the US while everyone else is experiencing terrible heat waves, because I've ended up in the south for the past 3 years traveling, and I do not want to be back south. I just want to go north where it's nice and cool. Right now we've got a lot more train activity than we want going on. We've got this train moving here, another train moving beyond that, which all sounds like it's something that you want to have happen train-wise. But actually it's kind of bad, because the more train activity there is, the more likely it is that you are to get spotted by a worker if it comes to that. So, I don't know, we're gonna see if we can find like a more subtle place to kind of sneak away, because we know that our train going to Chicago is gonna come in about 30 minutes. Okay, so it's not our train?
Yeah.
Where's that one going?
Oh, this one's probably North Baltimore. Okay. Quite honestly, most international shit does.
Got you. Okay, so.
Yeah, my singles auto rack right there.
Yeah. So okay. So not only single stack, but we also have to avoid the internationals too. Yeah. Yeah. If you see the head end pop by, I would just like duck into the bushes or something. Yeah. Even though there's like this fucking moat here.
What's that?
It looks like the head ends up that way.
Yeah, it looks like it's gonna come back.
So let's.
There's a little bridge right here, though.
Yeah.
If you want to try it.
Yeah, let's hide out here for a hot sec. Oh shit! Oh shit! Damn, nothing about this seems like a very good catch.
No. Hopefully it doesn't stop right here.
Oh dude, that would suck. He might be pulling back into the yard. I will say I would rather always have an easy catch than an exciting catch.
Yeah.
This is definitely a more exciting one.
Through that.
Yeah, I would, yeah, duck down. Yeah, dude is like literally 100 feet away from us, not even.
He's just sitting there?
Yeah, pretty sure. I don't see him, but I did like see him go forward and then turn like this.
Yeah, I saw that too.
So he could just be like watching everything. I think it's the UMax Schneider, man. I think that's the farthest one we can get from that unit. Shit's not gonna stop for long. Yeah, I feel like the more you linger, the hotter you make it. You just gotta do it.
hear the whistle 100 miles. Hear the whistle 100 miles. And if you say so, I will railroad no more. Sidetrack my engine and go. Sidetrack my engine and go. And if my mama leaves, I'll go back home again. 'Cause I'm a rambling woman, God knows. I'm a rambling woman, God knows. I'm a rambling woman, God knows. I'm a rambling woman, God knows.
Damn. Those Midwest rainstorms.
This is gonna be a bad one.
Ah, Jesus. I'm glad we're going at this speed, because otherwise this would be so crazy.
I know, I think it's boring right now, but we're fine right here.
Oh, Jesus. Yo. Fuck.
Yeah.
Honestly, the only reason we're feeling it is the splashback.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like spraying it.
Oh. Fuck. Wow. I'm not even that worried about the cars because it's fucking pouring.
Yeah. Yeah, we're flying too.
What's that?
We're flying too.
Yeah, I might like slip under the tarp a little bit. Yeah, that's that Midwest shot. Damn, that was fucking miserable though, to have to hide that hard.
Yeah.
And especially knowing, like, if you get pulled off in Cleveland, like, you're getting arrested.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be riding without these tarps and just suffering.
Yeah, man, they're worth it.
Yeah, honestly, I just kind of like, if there's a chance it'll rain, I just don't even ride.
Yeah.
I either just power through it or just don't go at all.
Right.
Oh, you're fucking kidding me. Well, back under the tarp I go. You should look at the sky right now.
Wow. Yeah. Post-storm vibes.
This is as Midwest as it gets, man.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck that person's doing. It's 4 a.m. in Chicago.
I know, even if we did get pulled off at this point, like...
Yeah, right?
We're here.
Take me to warm jail.
Yeah, right.
Oh wow. So the rail car itself is probably like 70 years old.
Yeah, it's been sitting here a long time. And you got
Yeah, where did this run? New York Central.
well, it was probably back in the day they used to just have box cars. Oh, that's cool.
I think, well, I'm pretty sure I've seen like old pictures of New York Central engines running up the Hudson River.
Oh shit.
Like the Amtrak side.
Oh
I
wow.
think with box cars, with the old box cars, you would just,
Wow.
it would go wherever and they just pay the railroad that owned the box car, like per diem or whatever.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So they could have ended up all over the place.
Yeah. How do you think this got here?
That the guy that used to own this railroad was a rail fan and he bought all this old shit
Mm-hmm.
that should have just been scrapped that he didn't want to scrap.
I think New York
And it
Central,
ended up here.
I think it actually probably ran through Selkirk out to Buffalo before like Penn Central.
Yeah. Well, the New York Central used to run to Chicago.
Look at the sludge.
Oh yeah. This probably hasn't been empty in a while. This factory was abandoned for a while.
Oh no
Like
shit.
not abandoned, but vacant.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're renting it now, but I don't know. Like every row of factories has a track behind it. It's a shame they don't use them more.
Yeah.
So many of them are just wasted.
I can only imagine how much it was like booming here. back in the
Dude,
day.
can you imagine? There must have been hundreds of box cars every fucking day. And they used to sit in that yard we were in. And then this one got burnt, and then they both got painted. So you can still kind of see the logo.
Oh yeah.
It's like for a fucking chromer. It's like, dude.
Yeah.
Damn. Oh, this shit's fucking done. Don't know how much I want to step in here, to be honest with you.
Yeah, holy shit.
Might be breathing in some asbestos.
Jesus.
Stove to keep warm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they spent some time in Canada.
Whoa.
I think that's like Montreal, maybe?
Huh. Can already feel the mosquitoes going up my nostrils.
Oh, yeah. Very burny smell in this car because it burned.
That'll do it.
Like this is a truck seat, and it didn't burn. So it's in trucker oil. Even the floor is sagging here. It smells like oil. This is a muffler from a truck.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa.
Some old magazines or something.
97.
Yeah.
This one is cigarette makers and their foes are talking settlement. April 28th, 1997.
Damn.
Alright, so my friend and I ended up splitting. It wasn't anything bad. It was just we had a difference in where we wanted to go. And homie was running out of money a little faster than me. Thought he had more saved up than he actually did. So we ended up having to split. He wanted to go south, and I said, well, I'm not particularly interested in riding down south. I said I wasn't going to go down there this time of year. So I'm in this small suburban town in Illinois, trying to hop out from there into Wisconsin and hopefully either hitch or catch a train into Upper Peninsula, Michigan. I'd never been out there, to the whole state first of all, and to the UP especially, so I've heard it's beautiful, heard it's worth it. I'm not really in the business of teaching people how to ride trains. I always believed that if you really wanted to do it, you could figure it out on your own, and if you can figure it out on your own, then you never needed my help to begin with. But I will say the one thing that is sort of necessary to figuring out how to ride these trains is just go down to the yard, spend a few hours to a day out there, figure out the operations, figure out what's going on. That's kind of the way to do it. Just sit and observe, and that's kind of what you have to do. I always say, give me a day in a yard and I can figure it out. But it's kind of fun to just also like be in the brush for a while and try to figure shit out on your own, you know? And you know what? It's the Midwest. I'm here to explore the Midwest. So if this shit swings me around to like Iowa or some other BS place, I don't even mind, because I'm here to explore. I'm here to adventure. It's kind of beautiful not having a destination. I mean, like, I do have a destination I want to go, but if I end up somewhere else, that's where I end up. And that's just how I'm gonna live my life. Alright, so I traded in my spot in the yard for something a few more miles out last night. The only trade-off is here it is very rural. There's really nothing but farms and shit out here. Because there's so much train traffic, there's bound to be something that stops going my direction. So hopefully I can catch it before it gets too hot today, because it's gonna hit about 90-ish Fahrenheit, which isn't too bad, honestly, considering the rest of the country is going through a crazy heat wave. Being up north in the Midwest right now is just what I need. Someone took this is actually the back of a car seat, and they threw it here in this little jungle. Honestly, I appreciate a good jungle. There's a life cycle to these jungles. They first start out, someone builds them, then they expand more and more and get really cool. And then as they get really cool and more people use them and know about them, then they start getting a little blown up because everyone knows about them because they're so cool. And then as they get blown up, some asshole shuts it down, or it just becomes impossible to hide because someone stumbles upon it, either an authority figure or some destructive person, and then they knock the whole thing down. And that's kind of the life cycle of these things. But I really do appreciate having a place away from the ticks on the ground, keeping myself warm by not staying on the ground, keeping myself comfortable by staying on a cushion. Honestly, I will take a cushion all day, any day. I don't care how sus the mattress is. Not really a whole lot of mosquitoes out here. I don't really know why, but I'm very grateful for that. And yeah, this is just a matter of me trying to grab my train early on. Something annoying is that as I was going through the through the weeds last night. My shoes got completely covered in these fucking, those little burrs, I think that's what they're called, the sticky plant seeds that sap onto you. So all my stuff is covered in that right now. And it's gonna take, honestly, a couple hours to a couple days to get it all off. So that's annoying, but at least it's something to work on. I asked someone who would know, who has been a full-timer on the road for 8 years when I met him, how many people are hopping trains now, because I think there's this perception that everyone and their grandma's doing it, but actually it's like kind of the smallest pool it's ever been in history. I remember even hanging out under some of these bridges 10 years ago, and the first train that I rode out on around that time, not successfully, mind you, but I did grab that train and ride it a few miles. There were like a good amount of kids hanging out under a bridge, even on the East Coast, where things are definitely a lot slower for train riders. And so, yeah, I asked this guy who has been traveling full-time by freight for about 8 years, you know, how many people are on the road like this, and he said in the United States there's maybe about only 200 full-timers, which is an incredibly small community, maybe about 1,000 people overall that are more like me, who do it seasonally, just kind of on and off. I definitely don't full-time this. I have some work that I have to get back to. The longest I've been out on the road has been 4 months out of 12, and that's been on and off. Yeah, and from there I'm making an estimate that the amount of people who have ever hopped a train in any capacity is maybe 30,000 across the entire country, given the population of the United States is over 300 million. So that's not 10%, that's not 1%, that's not 0.1%, that's 0.01% of all people. So it's a really small community when it comes down to it. And think about how many people are also just like doing this, not posting it. I mean, there's been enough times and enough miles where I've just ridden across the country and just like not posted anything about it.
I fell in love again. All things go, all things go. Drove to Chicago. All things know, all things know. We sold out close to the state. I don't mind, I don't mind. I made a lot of mistakes in my mind, in my mind. You came to take us. All things go, all things go to recreate us. All things grow, all things grow. We had our mindsets. All things know, all things know. You had to find it. All things go, all things go.
I got incredibly lucky. You can see by the Fred glowing at the very back of this train a few cars away. They cut out the back half of my train, and I was in the last few cars, so I had to hide pretty well. Hide myself, hide all my stuff. Unfortunately, couldn't really get that on camera because, well, I'm hiding, so I'm not trying to take out my camera, have the light on, make it obvious. But yeah, I did get very lucky in that yard, in that they didn't cut my string out, and that we are continuing north. We're somewhere in southern Wisconsin right now, and I think I am taking kind of a roundabout route to get into the Upper Peninsula, Michigan. I think I will be able to do it. I think I'm pretty confident in my abilities. So, shitty thing is there's going to be like a big thunderstorm coming up. But man, I will say it was close. Had to dodge a lot of cars, ATVs, worker flashlights, and just squeeze myself in really well. Just old hobo stuff. Definitely would not have been able to do this with another person, unfortunately, as far as hiding goes. Might have gotten seen, kicked off the train, all that shit. So, you know, solo is, although it is a little lonelier, definitely a lot better for hiding. As you can see, the rain is pouring down right now. It is soaked right now, as you can see, a little heavy rainstorm. I'm very glad to be under this bridge. Last couple days I was staying with this guy in the town of Wisconsin Rapids. He saw me walking down the road with all my stuff and said basically to come on over with him, and he hooked it up with a shower, some food, yeah, just basic stuff. I got to stay there for a few days, and I exchanged my work. He said I didn't have to. He let me play video games. He said he'd take the damn PlayStation down, and I said, well, I can play video games at home, so let me, I don't know, clean your floors, chop some wood, do that kind of shit. And from Green Bay, I'm gonna see if I can catch my night train. So, fingers crossed. It is quiet. These yards on the weekend are hella quiet. Hopefully there's even enough traffic. Some heavy slack. So we were waiting in the yard for a little bit, but now we finally got going. And it looks like all the ancient glacier valleys are opening up here. It's really a beautiful view. I'm glad I got this side of the boxcar too, because the other side's just the highway. Wow. I'll say this much, you're not going to get a ride like this in Europe, most likely. Our boxcar is swinging side to side quite a bit. I don't like that a whole lot. So, we're sided out in the middle of nowhere, as most side out spots are. It's been pretty slow going, but it is beautiful out here, so I don't mind too much, honestly. So my dumbass, thinking it was so remote that there's no civilization or people for 10 miles or so, I was just hanging out by the boxcar, eating some chips and salsa, and then we roll past this guy in an orange vest who has a radio, who I'm pretty sure is a worker and not a hunter, as we're like slow rolling through this shit. So I guess I might have to be ready to bail off, because jail doesn't sound very fun, and I especially don't want to get booked for the weekend. So I'm going to be extra cautious when it comes to just what I see. Again, it would be very weird for a worker to be out there, but not impossible. It's happened before. So, god damn it. All because I couldn't fucking keep my hiding spot. Well, hubris, lesson learned. It would be very lucky if he doesn't call it in, especially considering how we're slow rolling right now. But at this point, I'm gonna go down with the ship and eat my chips and salsa, because there's really not much else I can do. Okay, so life update. Got kicked off the train. That's always embarrassing. Especially embarrassing is the fact that they had handcuffed me, so that's new. Because I was so close to the Canadian border. Border Patrol rolled up. But, you know, I had a clean record, so they just let me off with a warning, which is very nice. But the West Coast, this is not. Normally they would just throw you off, not cuff you, just be like, get the fuck out. So I'm on to hitchhiking now, trying to get to southern Michigan, Detroit area, where hopefully I can take a bus into Toronto. So there's a lot of stealth camping videos that are kind of boring, but really blown up on YouTube for some reason. They get like millions of views, and God knows why. And here was my camping spot, that little dent in the grass there. And here is the police station of this town. So I'm literally camped out maybe 50 yards from the police station. Been doing that a bunch, never got my flowers, so just thought I'd let you know. Anyway, the mission continues. I'm gonna keep trying to hitch down south. Hopefully someone takes me to Detroit area. There's always someone. And it's Sundays, so hopefully, even though people are passing by this kind of ritzy town, they will be on their way south back to going home. So, fingers crossed.